Go ahead.
I have a simply great idea.
What's that?
I feel so wonderful tonight. I don't really feel like just sitting home and watching TV or anything. Why don't we go someplace quiet and romantic for dinner? Just the two of us.
Well, kid, any other time would be great, but I promised Rick I'd go down and help him clean up the sports center tonight. He's got a whole group of people going down.
Well, that's all right. That can't take all night, can it? I'll just find something to do here and wait for you until you get back. I'll even give you a back rub when you get back.
You what?
Back rub. How's it feel?
Oh, let's pick out the furniture. It feels wonderful.
Ooh, I have magical fingers, you know.
The wonders never cease.
Well, not if I can help it.
You keep that up, and I'll never get to the sports center.
Oh, wouldn't that be a shame? I just want you to remember one thing. Me and my magical fingers will be waiting here when you get back.
Jimmy, just haul them all out, stick them outside.
Be careful now, don't get it all over. Try to get stuck on the wall.
Fellas, I see you started painting already.
We're doing a good job.
We sure did, Dr. How does it look?
You want the truth?
Yeah.
Looks very neat. It's a little spotty. However, wait a minute. You got to clean the wall first. You got to get the cobwebs off, the dirt, the grease, then put the paint.
I guess we kind of, you could say we kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I think you did, but the spirit is there. But no more paint, okay?
Thanks,
Clean it first. And maybe all that wire and stuff out of the way would be easier, right?
Oh, boy.
Doesn't help.
I was thinking about Laura.
No.
Oh.
Over there. Over
You're right. It doesn't help.
Tell you what does, though, and that's staying real busy. Why don't you give Claudia and Brian a hand over there? I think they need it.
Fine.
Did you see that little...
Thank you.
For what?
Making me keep busy. Richard does.
Anybody got a dustpan?
Here, how about a little help with this? Lots of dust here. This is mine, but I can what'd you do with it?
Is there a Robert Scorpio here?
There is, and he's been expecting you. Just put those over there.
Boy, why would anybody want a bunch of New York City phone books?
Thinking of papering the walls. Here you go.
Thanks. Papering the walls? With phone books?
Think of the time it'll save.
Robert, darling, I was wondering about something.
I just knew you would be. What is it?
You know this Jackie...
Templeton.
Oh, Templeton, yes, darling. Well, you seem a little interested in her, and I was just kind of curious as to why.
It's quite obvious, really. She happens to have a sister who's gone missing. Now, we figure if we can get a lead on her sister and find her, maybe we can find Luke's Laura. So we find them both.
You bet we are. We're going to find both Lauras tonight. Typed out and duplicated so that when we get on the phone, they can just read the spiel at the top and use the rest of the page for notes.
Good, that'll really help.
What about the Manhattan directories?
Right on time, over there.
Great, and the place with the phones?
Became available 2 hours ago when the horses stopped running.
Great, and the people that, we're going to meet them there?
Well, I'm going to pick them up at Kelly's on the way.
Great, well, let's get going.
Excuse me for intruding, but obviously Robert is not going to introduce us formally. I'm Tiffany Hill.
Oh, sorry,
Hi,
Tiff. This
Tiffany.
is Jackie Templeton.
Didn't I meet you with, when I interviewed Laura Spencer?
Oh, well, I'm charmed that you remember, darling. You do something with newspapers or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
She's a reporter. She doesn't sell subscriptions.
Oh, well, how nice. You know, I've always had a very warm rapport with the press myself. I have dozens of photographers hounding me all the time, you know.
All the time.
But I decided that's what one has to put up with when one is a star.
True.
So understanding. Robert, before we go, would you mind checking over the copy?
Look.
You know, the bit we wanted to use on the phone.
Yeah, this is perfect. Right on the nose.
You think so? I'm really glad that you think so.
I couldn't have written it better myself. Yeah. All right.
Ready?
you get my coat, thanks, Tiff.
But of course, darling.
Well, hi. You guys don't look like you're ready to go work at the sports center.
No, not exactly. Not tonight, Joe. See, tonight we're helping out Scorpio. You know Robert Scorpio and the girl, that girl from New York, Jackie, what is it, Templeton.
It's a hush-hush operation, but we can tell you, we've got a plan to find Laura.
A plan?
Yeah, it's like an underground operation. A whole group of us have gotten together.
Sounds elaborate.
Yeah, it is, I think.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to call everybody in New York City, and we're going to ask them if they were on the plane with Laura.
Joe, first of all, we're not going to call all of New York City.
Yes, we are. That's the way I understood it.
I love you, sweetheart, but you are a little off the wall, you know? All of New York, can you imagine?
Your finger could get a little bit tired from doing the walking on this one. Hi there!
Hi,
Joe. Now, you two don't look like you're... Are you going to work at the sports center, too?
Sports center? Well, why, no, dear boy. Stella and I have offered our services to Robert Scorpio. Oh, I'd love to tell you all about it, but it's, what was that word again?
Top secret mission.
Oh. Well, I guess it would be, what with Robert's line of work and everything. Well, I'm going to go work at the dumb old sports center, so I'll see you all later. Good luck.
Jose, take it easy.
Hey, Joe, don't work too hard.
What on earth did Joe mean about us working at a sports center? I mean, neither Stella or I are the least bit athletic.
Well, Lila, you haven't heard about the new sports center?
No, I haven't. You know, come to think of it, when I was at Wellesley, I did have a midi blouse and some gym bloomers. Stella, do you know if they're still somewhere?
Do you have what, Mrs. Quartermain?
My gym bloomers, dear. It looks as though I might need them. Well, now, Rose, do start from the beginning and tell us all about this new sports center.
Rick, we seem to have company.
You know who they are?
No, but I get the feeling they're not our official cheerleaders.
Hi, fellas. It looks like you came to help. Thanks.
Hey, what's going down, Pop?
Oh, you got your family tree just a little bit mixed up. I am not your pop. My name is Rick Weber, and I didn't hear yours. What is it?
I mean, my friends just asked you a question, man. What are you messing up our turf for?
Well, if you're referring to this as your turf, just to set the record straight, it happens to be a building that I've taken a lease on, and I'm going to change it into a sports center for guys like you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we got our own idea of sports in this pad, and we like it just the way it was. You dig?
No, you dig. You want to come help? That's fine. We would love to have you, and I mean that sincerely. If not, get lost.
Hey, you got a big mouth.
Yeah, well, you got about 2 seconds to make up your mind. Want me to count?
Sorry.
Yes.
Friends of yours?
I would hardly say that, Steve.
I didn't think so.
Rick, you must be tired of hearing this, but has there been any word about Laura?
No, we keep hoping to hear something from Luke. He's in New York.
Oh, you went to New York?
Yeah, he's following up a lead on the photographer who did the Miss Star Eyes shoot. It seems that he's disappeared as well as one.
What is this, a labor relations meeting, Dr. Legree?
We were just asking Rick about Laura.
You heard anything?
No, I'm sorry. Robert Scorpio seems to be onto something.
Well, he's the right man for the job. What's he come up with?
He's got a whole bunch of people together over at Kelly's, and they're going to get together and try and locate somebody that was on the plane with Laura.
Right, now, is everybody set?
Oh, yeah, but shouldn't we synchronize our watches? I mean, that's what they always do when they rob a bank or something on TV.
We're not robbing banks. Oh, are we? Are we robbing? Lila, do you think you could be a good gun moll?
Oh, I'm sure I could, Slick. Just exactly what does a gun mall person do?
Oh, why is it always me? Come on, let's go.
Hey, you guys, I made you some coffee. It sounds like it's going to be a long night.
Oh, Rose, darling, how sweet of you. It is going to be a long night.
Very.
It is, Robert. But it's going to work. I'm sure of it. We're going to be hot on the trail of Laura Spencer Friday night.
Let's do it.
Good luck.
Right, we are.
fighting in the center ring. It's Jeremy Logan against that New York City punk, Artie Bradshaw. Boom, boom, ba-bam.
Yay!
That horseplay is really neat, Slugger. But I tell you what, why don't we get these tires out and save that for later, okay? Fine. Move it. Roll them. Out. Good going. Good boss man, huh?
Yeah, you're a great boss.
I'm really tired.
You know, that's not a bad idea, having a boxing ring in here.
We'll keep that in mind. Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Let's help the troops, okay?
I don't care what you say, Audrey. I will not have Jeremy making fun of his elders, including Arthur Bradshaw.
Darling, I couldn't agree more. All I'm saying is wait till later to talk to him about it. Make too much of an issue of it now. You're going to ruin his evening.
Hey, speaking of Bradshaw, have you ever noticed how hard he pushes himself? I've often wondered why.
It's mainly because of his family. He was counting on them coming to live here in Port Charles, and now apparently they're not going to. I happen to know he took the news very hard.
Well, I wonder why the family's insisting on staying in New York. Has Arthur said anything to you, Lesley, about his family staying in New York?
More papers over here? I guess mentioning New York is the wrong thing to say. It just reminds her of Laura.
Now, just be careful.
Taylor, are you sure we're in the right place? This looks to me like a dry cleaner's.
It is a dry cleaner's, Lila. It's just that they've diversified into other lines.
Really? Well, if they're this successful, perhaps ELQ should know about it. Stella, remind me to talk to Mr. Quartermain. He adores gobbling up smaller companies.
How you doing there, Slicker?
Got it. This is the one.
Hey, here we go.
The light.
Got it. Okay, guys. This is your home away from home.
My goodness, that's a lot of telephones. They must do a wonderful dry cleaning business.
They do, Lila, but this is in reverse here. Here, they take the customers to the cleaners.
Okay, listen, I want your attention for a few minutes now. We better get started on this. We don't have much time, because at 6 o'clock in the morning, the owners get back here and resume their daily chores.
Right.
I think you mean the daily doubles.
Well, whatever. Okay, just select the phone, sit down, and I will give out...
Get it back, Robert.
I'll give out these forms here.
Keep my eye on the door.
Hey, what instructions have you got, Jackie?
All right, okay. Now, if you'll all look at what I've prepared, there's a speech at the top. Okay, now, before we go over it, I want you to know it's got to sound convincing.
Are we supposed to say all this stuff?
Yes, and let me say it again. You've got to sound convincing. I know it's wild, but it could help. It helps to find Laura.
It'll work. It'll work.
All right, now, if you'll follow exactly what I've got written, we'll go over it.
Take Luke and Laura. They finally have everything fixed to where they can go ahead and get married.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, the wedding's called off. And then it's on again. And then when it finally happened, it was so beautiful. And so perfect. That not even Scotty could spoil it. And now my sister's gone.
Well, you know, Amy, there are a lot of answers to that. One of the easy ones is that life has no guarantees.
Sorry, I just don't understand that.
Well, whoever told you life was perfect?
Nobody. But that doesn't mean it can't be.
We hope life can be good. Most of us try our darndest to make it that way. It's what keeps us going, huh?
That's just the point that I'm trying to make, Claudia. My sister is gone. And now there's this girl, Jackie Templeton. Her sister is missing, too. And there's that girl in the hospital that was in the accident. Now they're thinking that somebody deliberately hit her. I guess what I'm trying to say is at some point, the whole thing just seems like a bad joke, you know? No matter how hard you try to make everything good, somebody or something is trying to spoil it for you.
Oh, honey.
Can I get in on this?
Yeah, sure. We were just talking there.
Yeah, so I heard. Listen, I've got an old story, Amy, that might just help you. As a matter of fact, it's so old, it's apocryphal.
Apocryphal what?
That means it's not necessarily authentic. Anyway, there's this guy who lived a fairly normal life, kind of ordinary. When he died, he found that life after death was absolute perfection. Whatever he wanted to do, eat, drink, whatever pleasure or comfort he wanted, all he had to do was think of it, and it came to him instantly. In other words, nothing to mar him. No more worries. Nothing to mar the absolute perfection of his life.
Sounds like heaven.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The only trouble was that all this perfection began to get to him. Day in, day out, nothing but perfection. Finally, he couldn't stand it anymore. So he went to the man in charge, and he said, look, I just can't take this. I've got to feel some pain.
What happened?
Well, the man in charge looked at him and says, I'm sorry. So the guy started to plead. He got down on his knees and he begged. He said, look, I just can't take this anymore, day in, day out perfection. He says, please, I must feel some pain. Do me a favor. Send me to hell.
Oh, you're doing a great job.
The man in charge looked at him and said, where do you think you are?
Oh, no.
And I like that story.
But the fact is, there's never any pain in life, and the good has no meaning.
But we can try to make everything good.
A lot of us think that's why we're here. Love each other, keep hoping, never ever lose faith.
Thank you.
Oh, so nice.
Thank you.
Okay, now if you've all turned to where the grades are listed.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Now I'm going to make the first call.
There's pages of them.
That's one good reason why we should get on with it.
All right, now mark the number down on my paper. Everybody got it? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to start with D.Gray.
You know, so I was so intrigued with her. She has all the charm of a third grade arithmetic teacher.
You shut up. She knows what she's doing.
I see there's a D.Gray mortician.
Oh, yeah? Well, why don't you call him, Lila? Maybe he flies on his day off, you know?
I think someone's answering. Hello? Mr. D.Gray? This is Miss Waters at New Amsterdam Airways. I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour, but our attorneys have just informed us we are filing our complaint against you in court tomorrow morning. Yes, we just feel you have a right to know. What complaint? In federal court, Mr. Gray, asking for damages for the incidents you caused on our flight number 24 from New York to Boston. It left New York at 7:30 on December 18th, 1981. Well, our records show Mr. D.Gray was a passenger on that flight. I see. When we come to trial, if it's necessary, could you prove that you were not aboard that flight? You can. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Thank you.
It worked.
Like a charm. He's never flown New Amsterdam Airways. Okay, so we mark it down, and then we go on to the next call. Does anybody have a question?
Yes, I do, dear. Won't New Amsterdam Airways be rather upset by what we're doing? I mean, we're making it sound as though they sue their passengers.
That's a good question, Lila. But understand that the airlines have given us their permission to do this.
I can't imagine them doing something like that.
Well, let's just say that a few of my former colleagues from the World Security Bureau convinced them.
Any more questions?
No, I can't wait to make my first call.
I can't either, darling. I'm so good. You know, I'm trained thespian.
Yeah. I knew that. The first time I laid on you, I said to myself, that girl is trained.
All right, people, let's do our assigned columns. Let's do it.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. D.Gray.
How dare you cheat? My darling.
Yeah.
The troops are getting a tiny bit restless, not to mention crabby. I think a 10-minute break might be in order.
I think that is an excellent idea, but I'll do better than that. Hey, everybody, listen up. Little announcement. I will make it just as brief as I can.
Oh, that's good thinking, Rick.
Well, maybe I'll leave off the part then, and I think you all are doing a great job. Now, I better include that. Yes, you're doing a fine job. I really appreciate it.
You're right. Folks, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Tell you what, I think it's time for a break. Let's head over to Kelly's. About 30 minutes. We'll eat. Lesley will pick up the tab.
Leave that right there.
Thank you. Thank you for the part about picking up the tab. All right, I'm independently wealthy. I married a rich person. Okay, let's go. Come on.
You get your coat.
Do you think, honey, we
Yeah.
need to lock up if we're only going to be gone 15 or 20 minutes or so?
Oh, absolutely, down here on the waterfront, especially with the visitors we had earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I get the lights.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where's the lock? Oh, here's the lock. Hold down here. I wish I'd brought my earmuffs.
Yes, it is. Whew.
Jimbo, what color you got?
I got red.
Junior, green. I got yellow. Okay, boys, let's decorate.